Now, I know you've seen this a lot. I'll just sort of show you again so we have it in the box. But this remains a mystery to some extent. I mean, mystery's too strong a word, but I think we don't have enough, like this overall pattern for the hedonometer going back from end of 2008 through now to 2018. There is this big wave, but their demographic changes is really a confounding issue in terms of being able to solve this. And then our friends, the bots, turning up at some point, saying strange things, arguing with us. They start to appear more and more here. So I mean, even that would be a good thing. Like, what's the bot count as we go through this? So that's something we still want to figure out. I know it was a project in POX. But we'll get there. Zooming in, it does all these nice things. You've seen this. But I did want to say, so here's, okay, let me just go back to this. I've talked about this. There are these positive events, but they're all these standard days that we have where people, and companies and whatever all tweet the positive words. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We've certainly seen that if you look at word shifts, you can see the negative words appearing, right? So Valentine's Day is not all terrific. People do say some negative things. Actually, Muhammad Ali was an interesting one. It doesn't stick off because it's talking about death, but usually a death of a celebrity, will kind of push things down. This is not really strong, death of Prince. But they can be often balanced by the fact that they're talking about, that they were funny or whatever it was, right? And Muhammad Ali was the greatest, right? So you see a lot of that. Okay, so usually the positive events are organized, well in advance, in a sense, and the negative ones are spontaneous, unexpected tragedies. And so that all makes sense, I suppose. But there is sort of this one variation, or one kind of human social phenomena that seems to be able to produce spontaneous happiness and spontaneous sadness, and it's sports. So this is from the World Cup, and I hope I can play sound. I know I've had trouble with that. The sound is very important here, and I don't want to hurt anyone's ears. Iceland did well for itself in when are we talking about? 2014? I think that's right. Yeah, they overachieved with their 300,000 people or whatever it is. Now we're going to not do it. That's the commentator. So the commentator, I'm sure some of you know this, but the commentator basically destroyed his voice repeatedly. But the excitement was, sorry, let me see if I can get this to work. Output. Oh, it's that thing. That's terrible. I thought I killed that. Yes. Okay, so they're happy, and was it Austria? Who were they playing there? Austria. Yeah, not Australia. Austria. I was introduced to a woman from Austria once because someone thought we were from the same place. But go on.
Was this a qualifying match that meant Iceland got to the World Cup?
No, it was in the World Cup. They made it, right? Soccer fans?
Euros.
It was the Euros.
Yeah.
Did they make the World Cup?
Not last time. They did this time. It's very exciting.
Okay. So this is the Euros. So they did incredibly well within that. And did they make the semis even?
Quarters or semis or something.
It was insane.
It was delightful.
They beat England,
Yeah.
which everyone likes that. I mean, anyone from the Commonwealth likes that, but even the English like that, which is messed up. But that's pretty great. Thank you for inventing sports that we may now destroy you in. This happens a lot, right? And we've seen this. We have some really nice work on this too that we should publish. But and I know I mentioned this, but you can see in different languages, and I think I said this one, Mexico beating Brazil, or at least going ahead early on in the World Cup or the Olympics, and scoring a goal, and just the the Portuguese swear words just exploding on Twitter, and Mexico is full of, stretchable goal words, right? That's an aim, right? We need the OED to have like an extra thing, like adjective, noun, all those sort of things, and then like a little thing that just says stretchable, yes, no. With stretchability indices, right? Yeah. Which should be 2 numbers because it's a complicated thing. Yeah. Fantastic. I am actually really serious about that. Anyway, so it would be a great contribution to the world. But if you really wanted to write down what this guy said, you'd have to have a lot of words with a lot of, Icelandic words with a lot of stretched out, yeah. If you want an authentic transcription. But it's true. This is where this seems to be where people collectively can be very happy or very sad, and it's all, you don't know, right? The win probability things, they're rough to watch. Like they can swing wildly at the end. Okay, this is a long time ago, but it would have been maybe in the early 90s, and Italy was playing France, and next to Melbourne Uni is Lygon Street, which has got a lot of Italian, Greek cafes on it, and I remember being out there watching, and so Italy loses right at the end, but then the whole place just went, just quiet. Everyone disappeared. There was no one, everyone just went home. I mean, places have different responses, right? So in Chicago, if they win, like, I guess, when they were winning with Jordan, they sort of like burn the place down, right? So there's sort of this odd thing where sometimes in celebrations you destroy everything, and sometimes you do that when you're really upset. But that's a complicated social response. All right, so you've seen the word shifts. They really are kind of nice objects now, and we know we need to do better to make them more understandable, but this is, let's do something positive, I guess. Right, so this is International Women's Day, which I have to say, I don't know what year of it is now, but that has become something that we've noticed on the hedonimeter. Like, it didn't register a signal globally, but it's become much bigger, and it's talked, so happy, people like saying happy whatever, happy Thanksgiving, happy Saturday, whatever, and there's less talk about some bad things there. But this was we could sort of explore this thing in a deeper way because you have the applicability of things. We're really still emerging from making figures that fit on paper, and it's kind of it's a fun time to be in this, but it is hard, and you want things to last, and that's the problem. 10 years ago we'd be absolutely trying to talk about Flash. Let's make little Flash things. Maybe 5 years ago, I don't know, and then Java before that, and occasionally I've pulled up some Java things, and it's all very sad, and you feel bad about it, right? Because it's beautiful, in some cases, like Jonathan Harris's website, right? It's just like no, it's like this huge barrier. Your computer's like, it tries to run out of the room if you open it. So anyway, these are, and you can move around in these things, and it has cool things. This is just like super fun. And then if you want to embed it, you can make, So, and I want to say this is an important thing. If you do build sites and you have interactive things, we registered hedonimeter.org. We register these things willy-nilly, it's true. But if you think you're going to make it, this is a real instrument. This is an object. And then it has, you feed up the view that's being held, right? So, because you want to be able to share that with someone else. You want to be able to copy that and share it with someone else. It should do that. Yeah, so that says it's positive up, so if I paste that and send it off to someone, that's good. There's a lot of hard work making sure that it has that durability, I suppose, yeah. All right, I know you've seen this. So let's move on to other things. This thing is a bit unhealthy at the moment, but the idea is to make a word shift pieces for everyone. We are developing a paper on categorical data shifts, I think will be the framing, because you can lift this out to, as I said, ecologies, whatever you want, portfolios. It's a useful thing, right? Just a small comment that on the side with Andy and Chris, we have a little company called Quokka Labs, which has been doing various things. building little instruments for places. We're talking with Illumination, who behind Despicable Me. So I'm going to speak with them tonight. Hopefully we'll get a little thing where we build little displays for them because they want that for writing scripts, right? What's the emotional arc of their script, and then more complicated things. If you look for happiest animal on Google, you get the quokka. And the quokka is pretty awesome. So we named Quokka, it's Quokka Labs. So this is kind of ridiculous, but they've taken off in, this is one of these galleries. Oh no, of course, images, right? Yeah. So it's a small kangaroo. I don't know what the sloth is doing here, but it's a small kangaroo type character because Australia you have everything from the Simpsons hopping mouse, which is a tiny kangaroo, to ones the big reds that are 6 foot. You got all of them, wallabies and paddy melons and the whole thing. They live on an island called Rottnest Island, which is off Western Australia, and that's pretty much, there's some on the mainland, but that's pretty much their only space. It's called Rottnest because the early Dutch, right, the Dutch are sailing around the world trying to colonize things, ultimately failing terribly, but they thought it was a bunch of rats, so it was a Rottnest, a nest of rats. Anyway, we named it after this little character. So people go there and take selfies with them, and I think they're doing okay because, now they're famous. But yeah, you can get a selfie with a quokka. Because all of our marsupials never met anything that ate them, so they're pretty dopey. And all the introduced things, including humans, have been not ideal because they like to eat things. Yeah, the Australian desert has camels and donkeys and wild cats, house cats running around because they somehow get out there and eat all these juicy little marsupials. Anyway, let's get rid of that. That was an important thing. Oh. I think that they could be just in fear, who knows, right? Nervous smile, they're curious.